DC here. Hi, guys and gals. Hope you're well. It is Friday, and it's quite warm actually compared to a bit earlier this week. It is, let me see, it's 18 degrees Celsius, and it's go up to 24 sometime today. So that's pretty warm. Actually, it's a nice temperature. I really like these temperatures. Yeah. So I'm out walking, and I was going to say I usually make a vlog earlier in the week, but this week was kind of busy. And finally, I thought, well, why not make one today? Because yesterday I was at a shareholders meeting. It's always interesting. It was the last company I worked for. I had a few shares there, so I'm invited to the shareholders meeting, which means that, once a year there's a meeting, but you also get to meet up with people that you know or knew, and also, you get to have a few drinks and something to eat, and just see how things are going. So it was interesting. The company is not going well right now. They've had quite a few years with frankly bad managerial decisions, and they're trying to overcome that. And they had to admit yesterday that it's going to be a couple of years before they break even or make a profit. So luckily they have I was going to say a good amount of cash laid away to be able to do that. But anyway, that's was interesting. What I always do when it's that meeting, I go a bit earlier and take my a first coffee with the people of the staff. And the staff in that respect, the people that are taking care of the cleaning, the cafeteria, and so on. And I've always got along very well with the so-called staff. You see, I was part of management, put it that way. And but I really appreciate that. I come from a very modest family, so in that respect, I think that somehow you kind of connect more. And after the meeting, I was with a farmer friend of mine, which I've known actually before, many years ago actually. So we end up meeting once a year at that, and we take time to chat, and we sat down, and there was other people that came. But what's amusing, I don't know if I should call it amusing, but what's interesting is that since I've retired, most of the management staff that I knew have left the company or have been asked to leave. New management, new styles, and so on. So there were a few people that I knew there, but you see a lot of them didn't actually seem to be interested you see, I'm not an important person for them anymore. I'm retired. That's where you see the characters of some people. It's really quite amusing. I'm not surprised with the person I am thinking, actually one person in particular. I'm not surprised because that person has always been like that. But, associating with those that made a difference for his career. In this case, it was a man. There was a woman who was similar, but she doesn't work in the company anymore. Yeah. So that was that. And after, in the afternoon, I did some voluntary work at the church. I washed the floors and did the cleaning. Mrs. DC also did some cleaning. We were a small group that did some cleaning. And so, that was pretty much my day yesterday. Yeah. Interesting stuff. Interesting. The differences in the way people act, the way people are. Yeah. I found it amusing, though, that one of the members of the board came over to me and he said, by the way, where can we still find stuff on what you did? The history is lost, because all the people, that's something actually in a company. It happens also not only in families or whatever, but if you don't document things correctly, history gets lost. And as we say, history repeats itself. So we were chatting about that, because my files are actually in an archive, and that archive is pretty deep in the company's basement, and by far not everybody has access to it. It has a special key, so it is not accessible even for management. You have to go and get that key. So just to say, It's an interesting fact. Yeah. Today I was walking around because I have a Spanish lesson in a couple hours. And I was online, and I was walking around, and there was we have a section in town, I've talked about that before, where most of the main roads in town, they've reduced the speed limit to 30 kilometers an hour. Which means actually that if you're going like 50 kilometers an hour, which was 30 miles an hour, if you're going that speed, which was the speed before, you are 20 kilometers an hour over speed limit. If you're going 60, you can have an enormous fine and lose your driver's license. So it's one of those things that is quite worrying, because if you've ever driven a car, you will see how easy it is to drive faster than 30 kilometers. That's like what is that? That's like 20. It's less than 20. Oh my goodness, yeah. It's like 18 miles an hour or something like that. And so you just see it if you're driving a car, how easy it is, even without doing anything, to be over that speed limit. So as I was walking, I saw that there was an unmarked car parked where normally it shouldn't be parked. And as I was walking by it, because I was doing some loops, I noticed that it was a policeman. And what he was doing, it had a note, and he had a radar, a mobile radar, and he was measuring the speeds of the people going out of town. Now, the people that are going out of town, it's pretty much known that a certain place not far from where he was measuring, that people speed up, because the speed limit goes from 30 to 50 kilometers an hour. And people tend to speed up before they get to the end of the limit. So what was he doing? He was measuring, and I could see him writing down. He was probably writing down license plate numbers so that they could send off, the fines. Yeah. Interesting. From my vlogs, that I've often said in Switzerland, we vote for everything. And one of the votes, so we're voting actually on this weekend. Well, you can send them out by mail, but one of them is a town vote, because we have like separate. We have like in this series of votes, we had federal votes, cantonal, which is a bit like state, cantonal votes, and we had municipal for us. So there was things like that. So the municipal vote that we had to vote for was a political party that has asked that the first hour of parking be offered to bring more people into the town. We have a lot of problems, actually. Our downtown area is basically dying. And so, of course, all the parties on the left are saying, no, you can't do that. It's going to bring more cars into the city. And then finally, the real thing gets out, is that, and we'll lose revenue. Because, of course, if you're if you're on the leftist side of the political spectrum, taxes are a very important thing. Yeah. You can't give everything away if you don't get money from somebody, can you? And that's why taxes are there, right? So, of course, the real reason came out is that they made a calculation of how much money they'd actually lose. But what they forgot to say is that, they actually also made that you can not park. There's very few hours in a day where parking is, so to say, free. So they've added extra hours on to add even extra more money. And they've removed parking places. And they've made everything so it's difficult for people to get into the town, and those that do are taxed to the maximum. And actually, they're making a lot of money on parking. They are. And so they don't want to lose any money. Yeah, anyway. So that's it. Yeah, so I've just been chatting, and I got to get home now. I got to do a bit of, 1 or 2 bits of revision, actually, and check out a few things before my Spanish class. Yeah. So the weekend's coming, got the kids coming over, and hope that you're all well. And chat to you sometime, maybe on Sunday, we'll see. DC signing off. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.